Hello and how goes everybody? My name is CYI3R, or you can call me Cyber, and welcome to the first episode of my Pokemon Champions grind. So, here's the team we're working with today. It's a Mega Eelektross with a Salazzle support, Whimsicott support, Physical Trevenant, Special Wall Dragalge, and a Physical Dragapult. I wanted to keep it simple. I thought Physical Eelektross sounded pretty funny, pretty fun. I have used Physical Eelektross in my Showdown days in the past with a coil set, but I thought I'd just let the raw power of the Mega itself do all the talking here. So, I didn't change the VPs of the sets initially. This is what they came with. I did end up changing them later on, I believe after these battles today. I think by the fourth battle I had them changed. I'm not entirely certain. But this is the team, and let's get into the battle. So, first team, a lot of physical attackers, a lot of physical walls. I decided I'm leading off with Eelektross because I want to show them off as much as possible. Whimsicott's very good support for him. Salazzle, also really good backup sweeper. It's also a very good cleanup Pokemon. And Dragalge for any potential special that they might have. Because these are low tiers. You never know what people are going to run. And now, let's start the first battle. So, they start off with a Tyranitar Whimsicott, setting up the sand, and from my first guess, also putting up their own tailwind. So, I'm over here thinking, okay, what can I do? Obviously, first thought, Drain Punch the Tyranitar, get it out of here as quickly as possible. And a tailwind of my own, so that way I can outspeed whatever they got going on. Now, I had forgotten to Mega here, and I feel like that bites me in the butt here, as you'll see, because the Drain Punch does a lot of damage, but doesn't quite take it out. It lives on just a little bit of HP. And here's what I wasn't expecting, Taunt from the Whimsicott. Now, the fact that I outsped that means it's not Prankster, and Tyranitar also goes for a taunt, so they went for double taunt this turn to shut down, I guess, to shut down any potential setup, which is weird that they did so into a Whimsicott of all things, without Prankster of their own. But I decided, right the wrong, gonna use the Mega here, finish off Tyranitar with a Drain Punch, and get some damage on the other Whimsicott to soften it up. Okay, so here's the Mega in all of its glory. And remember to always, if you're ever using an Eelektross of your own, always make sure to Mega before you try to knock something out. That way you have full control over getting that boost. Moonblast on the enemy Whimsicott does a huge chunk. Drain Punch finishes off Tyranitar, kills off a bit of that Sandstorm chip. Doesn't quite get me to full, but it gets me close enough. So now, and then I get that free +1 attack, which is always nice. And now something that surprised me: Physical Whimsicott with a Seed Bomb doesn't really do much of anything. And now Sylveon comes out. Now I know Sylveon to be bulky in general, and I can't protect, so I can't like scout. So I contemplate going for a knockoff here, just knocking off Sylveon's items, but I decided it's better to just swap into Salazzle here, so I could take out that Sylveon as quickly as possible. And I had, as I said, I forgot about the taunt here, so I tried to go for it on the other Whimsicott, but I decided to just finish it off with the Moonblast here. So Salazzle comes in, Moonblast takes out the enemy Whimsicott. Goodbye, little puffball. And surprising me again, Whimsicott with a Psych Up, trying to take my +1 attack boost on my Eelektross, but missing it from because of the swap. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't read that. I didn't see that coming in a million years. But they sent out an Arcanine as their last Pokemon. Intimidate doesn't really work on my two special attackers, and I decided to just keep Whimsicott in, get some free damage off on Arcanine. Just get a free fresh swap in for something, so that way it doesn't take any unnecessary damage. Going for the Sludge Bomb on the Sylveon there. Moonblast does basically nothing to Arcanine. It's resisted after all. Sludge Bomb on the other hand, tons of damage to Sylveon there. And I get the Lucky Poison. So now I got the Poison chip and the Sandstorm chip for however many turns it's got again. Flamethrower takes out Whimsicott. Good job, little puffball. But now it's time for someone to come in and finish the rest of the battle. I had to do a cut here because of a notification that was interrupting the recording. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, but Sylveon used a Play Rough, confirming it as a physical Sylveon, which explains the Psych Up there. Now, my Tailwinds ended, unfortunately, just as Whimsicott goes down, but I decided to bring back in... Oh, no, sorry. I brought in Dragalge here. Because a Flip Turn, I was thinking, okay, Flip Turn finishes off can help finish off Arcanine. So that way I can just get the Eel back in for the final family photo here. Go for the Sludge Bomb on the Arcanine because Poison's finishing off Sylveon this turn. I can't imagine it doing anything to knock something out here. Sludge Bomb does a huge chunk of damage to Arcanine here. And I get another Lucky Poison. Arcanine goes for Scary Face here. I guess it thought I wouldn't do too much damage or didn't have anything to hurt it too bad. And then the Flip Turn just finishes it off. So Arcanine's down, Sylveon's going down at the end of this turn, and Eelektross is coming right back in to be a part of the end photo. Look at the boy. And it actually turned out to be a mixed Salazzle, going for a Dazzling Gleam. I don't think it has any investment though because it did nothing. And either way, the Poison takes it out here. And that's just the end of the first battle. Look at the Eelektross roaring in all its glory. Now we're on to battle number 2. I see a lot, once again, a lot of physical, a nice good mix of physical special attackers. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, bring in the Salazzle for the endgame cleanup, bring in Dragalge for any potential special walls, Eelektross to Mega and maybe put a dent in the team. And I decided to switch out Whimsicott for Trevenant here, just to have another bit of damage on the team. I was trying something new, and I wanted to see how it would, and I wanted to give another Pokemon some Spotlight time. Maybe I could have switched Dragalge out for Trevenant and kept the Whimsicott, but then I'd be double weak to fire, and I figured they had that coverage. Because I did have the Arcanine. But first two Pokemon I send in here, Raichu, Arcanine. Intimidate hurts a little bit because of the -1 for the physical Eelektross. Doesn't do much for the Salazzle. This time I remembered to Mega off that, and I go for the knockoff on the Raichu to get some chip and see if maybe it's the Mega one. And then a Fake Out as well in case it is Mega, and I just get to outspeed. Now, waiting on the opponent here, and they did something out, and they did what I wasn't expecting, and they swapped out Raichu straight to Dragonite. Now, Dragonite, obviously, it's not going to take a lot of damage because multi-scale, Dragonite's very bulky. And I also have the -1 on Eelektross, who's supposed to be doing the brunt of the damage on this turn. Fake Out hits, does what Fake Out does, just breaks the multi-scale. Bulldoze from Arcanine, I didn't know it had that coverage. Misses the Eelektross, misses Dragonite, but it does a lot of damage to Salazzle here. I was actually running Bright Powder on it. I don't know if you saw that in the preview. And the speed drop, very detrimental to it here, because it lives off speed after all. So, I decide, okay, double in on the Dragonite, maybe I can get some damage on here. I'm thinking Dragon Pulse, Supercell Slam would do enough to take it out. But, and here's a big but, that Bulldoze, the speed drop mattered, and you're about to see how. Because Mega Dragonite comes out, as we learned from Knockoff not removing an item, which I guess could also mean it doesn't have one, but I doubt that's the... Mega is more likely the case. Drops a Draco right on Eelektross. The chunky boy lives it, barely, very badly. -2 to Dragonite special attack, and the Bulldoze finishing off Salazzle as it gets now outsped by Arcanine because of the speed drop in the first Bulldoze, which is very unfortunate. Now, I'm over here thinking Supercell Slam doesn't do enough on its own. Because of that, I really need that Dragon Pulse to come through and give me that extra bit of damage. I feel like with the Dragon Pulse, it would have been enough to knock out Mega Dragonite here. So, thinking I need an answer to the Dragonite, I bring out Dragalge. Now, I'm also thinking, I also don't want to lose Eelektross just so easily. A Draco Meteor at this point takes out the Dragonite. And Dragalge is bulky enough on the special side to tank one on its own if it is getting hit. But what I didn't consider is -2 Draco Meteor on Dragalge. While it does live it badly, just because of, you know, Mega Dragonite's massive attack stat, what I didn't expect, what I didn't take into consideration, or into my calculations, I should say, was Arcanine outspeeding Dragalge with another Bulldoze to take it off and finish it off entirely. That really messed up my play. I really messed up here. I should have just went to the attack on the Eelektross. But now I have to send in Trevenant here. It's his time. It's her time to shine. Let's see. I want to see what she can do. See if she can put in some work here, because she does have Rock Slide on her on the kit here, just for the spread moves, and it would be super effective on both of them. So I'm thinking, okay, and then Quick Claw on the Arcanine with a Flare Blitz on Trevenant completely turns the girl into charcoal. Nothing she could have done, nothing anyone could have done. My sash was on my Whimsicott. And Ice Beam from Dragonite. Eelektross lives it, but because it was a -4 special attack, but the Supercell Slam doesn't get a takeout. Even if it did, I get outsped by everything else. So I just decided, alright, I'm gonna head out. So now we're into battle number 3. They have an interesting team with the Pikachu, the Azumarill, the King Gambit. So I've decided to go back to a combo that works with the Eelektross Salazzle starter for the Mega Tailwind combo. Now, I'm not sure what they're going to bring in first, but I'm certain I can deal with it no matter what it is, because their team seemed pretty easy to deal with for the most part. I had some form of coverage for almost everything, except for like the Pikachu. But Pikachu's not exactly bulky. So. Okay, so they bring in a Gyarados and a Gengar. Gyarados Intimidate hurts a little bit because of the -1, but a Mega Supercell Slam on a Gyarados with the Tailwind speed out boost to make sure I outspeed, I was not expecting that thing to win. The only thing that saves that Gyarados right now is a Focus Sash, and I do not think they brought it on it. But look at the magnificent gooey boy. Tailwind from Whimsicott, thank you, little puffball. And with the Tailwind blowing, Eelektross outshoots everything. Supercell Slam on Gyarados, gone. Send that shrimp back to the Barbie. And a free +1 to offset that Intimidate from earlier. So now I'm back at base attack stat. Haunt from Gengar. That made me think it's a support set. Meant to shut down probably like Icy Wind and stuff like that. But then they send in a Azumarill. And I know Azumarill to be the belly drum, huge power, physical monster. So I decided to taunt it with Whimsicott, shut it down entirely. And go for the knockoff on Gengar, because it's obviously not going to be the Mega if it's support. Knockoff does a huge chunk of damage. And it actually might have been Mega, now that I'm looking back at the footage here, because I just realized it didn't knock anything off. So either it didn't have, and it had to have had something because it did a lot of damage. But on more surprising, it's physical Gengar, and the special Azumarill takes out its own partner with a Surf and does donkeys to my Eelektross and Whimsicott. So now it's just the Azumarill and the Garchomp left. Azumarill, Supercell Slam on the Azumarill, that's not going to survive without a Sash. Moonblast on the Garchomp does a massive amount of damage here. It barely holds on here. Whimsicott, I'm learning to appreciate it more, but Supercell Slam from Eelektross obliterates that bunny. Just cracks that little Easter egg looking one. And now I'm sitting over here at, I believe, a +2. No, +1. And for some reason they decided to Earth Power my Eelektross which obviously does nothing because the Elevate is very strong. And at this point, it's just to finish off the guard chomp, so I decided let little Puffball here throw the moon at it, take it out, and let that be the end of battle number 3. Now, I was initially thinking to just end it here, so let that be the end of it, but I decided to do a 4th battle. Now, 4th battle is up here. I'm seeing a very well-balanced team. Grimmsnarl for support, Lucario, a lot of physical attackers in a Lucario, armor in a Lucario, Hawlucha, maybe Gyarados, and then obviously specials in like Empoleon, Armor Rouge. I go with my tried and true combo of Eelektross, Whimsicott, Salazzle, Dragalge. Once again, Dragalge is very nice for a special wall when it's not hit super effectively. Then they start off with an Armor Rouge Lucario. Now, I'm trying to think about which one I can take out easier. I believe Armor Rouge should be the easier target here, so I go for a Tailwind knockoff on it with the Mega. Now I'm sitting here fully expecting it to just knock it out, because the Mega has a very high base attack stat. I have the attack maxed out. And the only thing is that it's not stab. That's the only downside to it. Tailwind comes in, nice little breeze to set the sails. Knockoff comes out and does a massive amount of damage. Armor is just weak, armor pops off here, giving it a +2 in speed, and knocking off a focus band, which I wasn't expecting either. But Armor Cannon comes out, does lots of damage, taking the Eelektross down to about half, but its natural bulk lets it take that pretty well. Meteor Mash from Lucario activates Sash on the Whimsicott with a crit. I don't know if that crit was what brought it down to Sash, but I do not think it was necessary to do so. Lucario also gets the +1 for Meteor Mash, and I'm sitting over here thinking, okay, Drain Punch Lucario, finish off the Armor Rouge with Whimsicott, because it'll outspeed. And I don't want to take an unnecessary damage here, if I can avoid it. So, Whimsicott over here, putting the armor back into storage. Just finish off the Armor Rouge there, nicely done, a little puffball here. And now, Drain Punch onto Lucario, let's see, almost takes it out. Does about 3/4. There's a little over 3/4 here. Gets me almost back to full health, which was very nice to see. But then a close combat with the +1, just enough to take out Eelektross. I actually think it was barely enough damage. But then it gets the -2 to both defenses, making it a little squishier. And with that in my head, I'm thinking, okay, Dragalge can come in, it can hit it with a flip turn, get a free swap into Salazzle to clean up the rest of the game. They send out Hawlucha, and I'm thinking, okay, they didn't Mega. They haven't used the Mega yet. I'm thinking Hawlucha is the Mega here. They're going to do the Entrainment, no guard thing, maybe with some Oko moves with the last Mon. I don't know which one could have got it. But I decided, okay, Moonblast the Luchador, sends him backstage, just completely demolishes Hawlucha. It didn't give it a chance. Dragalge is over here, flip turn, barely doesn't take it out. It's just not a good physical attacker. His flip turn's more for the momentum play than the actual finish it off. But that's perfectly fine. Salazzle comes in, Lucario hitting him with a +1 Meteor Mash. Doesn't even do half. Gets close though, I will admit. And it gets another +1 attack. So now it's sitting over there at +2 attack, -1 defense and special defense. I'm waiting to see the last mod, and it is Grimmsnarl. Now I'm over here wondering, what can I do? It's probably Prankster Scream's gonna set something up. Lucario's gonna have like Drain Punch or something. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. So I decide, fake out on the Grimmsnarl, stop it from doing anything this turn, and let Whimsicott catch its 3rd body this battle on the Lucario. Just knocking him out. Sending the Orarita back to base. Now, Tailwind comes out here. I'm not really thinking about it too much. Don't realize I could just double up on the Grimmsnarl, take it out. but I decided to set up Tailwind. Just to... I think I was overconfident in Salazzle's finishing power here. Or maybe I was underestimating Grimmsnarl's power, hard to say, but Sludge Bomb almost takes it out, leaves it on 5%, but gets the lucky poison. Once again, I think almost every Sludge Bomb from the Salazzle this video has been a poison, but Spirit Break takes out Whimsicott. We salute to the Whimsicott for all of its good deeds this battle, but Life Orb Grimmsnarl gets taken out from its own attack, and that is the end of the final battle. I thank you all for watching, and if you have any builds or team suggestions you want to leave in the comments description, please feel free to. I'm willing to try them out, see what happens. And I will see you all next video. Goodbye.